our process today is one that we did quite a few months ago. We're kind of bringing it back because the changing of seasons is just a good time to bring some things back for sure. And so we're going to be focusing today on sounds of the season. And so we're going to be listening to different sounds and do kind of a responsive, reflective um, writing or creating process from that. So what we need today, supply-wise, is going to be our journal or a piece of paper. We'll need a pen or pencil to write with, and then we'll need some color. So I'm going to be using some marker today, but if you have colored pencils or crayons or pastels, watercolor, colored pens, or even just a couple different highlighters, that's good too. But pull out your color today. We're going to use that as well. So the process that we're going to be doing is kind of a exercise in slow listening, right? Reflective listening. And so what's going to happen is we're going to listen to a few different sounds and spend time, a little time, just letting our mind wander a little bit. The sounds that we're going to be listening to are kind of sounds of the season. They're sounds that you might hear out in the wild, so to speak, from this fall season, this autumn season. When we listen to the sound, we're going to listen to it once. And then as we're listening to it that first time, I do want to, like I said, encourage you to let your mind wander. Maybe think about what image comes to mind, or what, if there's a memory that's associated with the sound, if there is a certain feeling that comes with that sound. And then we're going to listen to it a second time and spend some time doing a little writing or drawing. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time with each of these sounds, but I think it's a good time or a good exercise in just kind of letting our creativity wander for a little bit, slowing down and being present and really just kind of diving into this sound. We're going to do this first one kind of slowly. You're welcome to follow along with me and do what I'm doing, or let your mind wander and kind of go off in whichever direction your mind goes. Know that there is no wrong way to respond to these sounds. Right? But I want to encourage you for this first time that we're listening to it, just really kind of like if it feels good to close your eyes and listen to it that first time. If it feels good to just kind of lower your gaze in the distance, do that. But I want to encourage you to really try to not do anything else but listen to that sound. And then the next time we listen to it, we're going to do something with our hands. Again, just want to really encourage you to listen to this first sound. So this first time we listened to it, hopefully as you were listening, it brought some things to your mind. Maybe it was a certain image or thought or memory. So when we listen to this again, I want to encourage you to respond, however, on paper. You'll see what I'm doing, and honestly, mine is probably going to be a quick sketch and mostly writing. But I want to encourage you to respond however feels right. So I know this was the first time listening to it, and it may have felt a little uncomfortable, not quite sure what to do. So I want to spend a moment before we continue on to ask how it felt to kind of slow down and listen to this sound. And I know that it's not always going to be a memory that comes to mind, but maybe it's an image or reminds you of something you read or yeah, anything. It can be anything. It's just kind of this exercise is really all about slowing down and like listening and letting our mind wander a bit. And again, as we listen to this first sound, I want to encourage you to just kind of either close your eyes if that feels comfortable or stare off in the distance, but just really listen to that sound. All right, so now that we've listened to this sound together, really just kind of sat and let our mind wander with it. When we listen to it again, I want to encourage you to respond in your journal however feels right, whether it's doing a quick sketch, bringing some colors in, or just writing your thoughts about what came to mind. We're going to listen to it another time, one more time. And I want to encourage you to really just kind of respond in that journal and know that there's no wrong way to respond. So this one was kind of a different sound. than what we've experienced before. So I want to kind of open the floor up again. If anyone would like to share the thought, the emotion, the memory that came to mind listening to this one. All right, so let's go into our next one. We just spent a moment listening to this sound too. So I want to encourage us when we listen to it again to respond on paper, whether it's writing or drawing, responsive writing, or reflective writing, whatever it is. Just respond by putting it on the paper. So I want to open the floor up again for a little sharing. If anyone would like to share what came to mind listening to this sound. Again, it could be a memory or just an image or association, but just letting your mind wander with this sound. Let's hop into our next sound. And again, I want to encourage you as we listen to this first sound, to really just kind of let our mind wander with that one. So closing your eyes if that feels comfortable, or just kind of lowering your gaze in the distance, but just kind of be present and let your mind wander with this next sound. So hopefully, as you're listening to that sound, your mind was kind of being creative and just kind of going in different directions. So as we listen to it again, I want to encourage you to kind of put your response, your reflection in your journal, whether it's words or images. Just take a moment as we're listening to it this next time to kind of put your thoughts down. That was an interesting one for sure. So I wanna ask, what came up for people with this one, with this sound? Let's hop into our next sound. And again, if everyone would just kind of take a moment this first time to just listen and let your mind kind of wander. It can be a memory or an association or even just a thought, or a whole made up story too. It doesn't have to be anything realistic. So we're going to listen to it one more time. And this is our last one, our last sound for the day. But as we listen to it this next time, I do, again, just want to encourage you to respond in your journal, whether it's a drawing, a color, an image, or a collection of words. Just take a moment this next time as we listen through to write down what's coming to your mind as we do it. I think that was a nice one to end our sound with. Um, what came to your mind as you were listening to this sound? Well, I do want to encourage you to kind of take time, maybe time later on this week. I know like life gets busy and we do get pulled in different directions, and sometimes it can feel a little chaotic. But I do want to encourage us to kind of take moments during the week to maybe just kind of listen to our surroundings. Take that moment to just kind of be present. This is such a great exercise in being present, thinking about just that sound and kind of where our mind goes with that sound, not thinking about to-do lists or anything else, but just really being immersing ourselves in the sound, and know that, you know, what we did today, it didn't have to be any certain way. I was just kind of writing and drawing along with like what I was hearing. But however you responded is wonderful. Whether it was writing, drawing, or whether it was just kind of creating a story in your mind, anyway was good.